Are you ready for a StarCraft extravaganza like no other? Because it's day number 2 here of the Esports World Cup. We've already eliminated 2 players. Today, 4 more will go. Get them out of here as we have got our road to become a world champion to focus on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Aris here to get the Esports World Cup underway. Once again, I'm hyped, I am pumped, and with me to talk about everything that's going to be going on at the start of the show, I have Loco, I have Wardy to talk about it. Wardy, are you as ready as me?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another broadcast here of the Esports World Cup. Welcome to the Esports World Cup EWC 2025, day number 2. We were live, of course, yesterday with the first day with the initial broadcast of the Esports World Cup, and now we're here, as Kalaris did mention, to start eliminating more players. Only two players were eliminated last night by Gabe, of course. Gabe took down both Lambo and Estrella, and now we are jumping into day 2, and this is when we have pure best of 5s. Let's go, Bobby, let's go.
Yeah, fair.
Take it away, boys.
Sorry, I am pretty hyped. I'm pretty excited. And you should be at home as well. You should be at home as well, because we've got an insane
we got the players
StarCraft coming your way.
Let's go.
And these insane players
we got Trigger, we got Cyan, ByuN, Zoun, and Shin. Let's go.
Loco, yesterday we had a brilliant day of StarCraft. I imagine today will be no different.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we already started off with fantastic games, and I feel like today is no different, right? I mean, you look at any of the matches, and all of them are good. I mean, I guess this is what happens when you bring all
time
the
to
best players in the world
exactly.
against each other, but you can't really
glad this premium content is available in my region.
Yeah, well, before we do that, of course, let's head down to the Boulevard and see what good old Sandstorm is up to before day 2.
Oh, take it away, Sandstorm.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sandstorm, one of the hosts here at the Esports World Cup, and today marks the beginning of quite a few tournaments in the 3rd week of competition. Behind me to the right is the stage for Honor of Kings, and the competition, I believe, begins today. Following that, in the next stage that we have here is going to be PUBG Mobile. Today, they're sorting out their media days, they're taking all their fancy pictures, getting themselves ready for the first day of competition that starts tomorrow. And in the final stage, all the way towards the end, it's none other than Call of Duty Black Ops 6. 3 competitions in 3 different arenas in our 3rd week here at the Esports World Cup. But right now, I have to rush to the 4th stage, which, guess what, has StarCraft 2, because that's actually the one that I'm hosting. So let's go.
There's 6 Black Ops?
Esports World Cup Club Championship.
Jesus.
The ultimate cross-game competition that will crown the best esports club in the world.
Dude, last one I played was 2.
Let's break down how it works. Clubs will be able to compete at the Esports World Cup in as many titles as they can qualify for. The clubs will then earn points based on their placement in each title. To qualify for the club championship, a club will need a top 8 placement in at least 2 competitions. But to win the championship, a club must place first in at least 1 competition. At the end of the Esports World Cup, the 24 clubs with the highest number of points will earn a share of the 27 million. With the winner taking home a staggering $7 million. And of course, the title of the best esports club in the world. Who will rise above and write their place in history? Watch it all here at the Esports World Cup.
And that's how the club championship initiative works on out. So far, so good for Team Vitality at number 1 right now. They do still have Maru and Zoun representing here in StarCraft to try and hold on to that number 1 spot. However, before we really kind of get to what's going on here in StarCraft as a whole, let's take a look at how the key works here for the Esports World Cup.
Show us all the information.
No competition is as ruthless as the Esports World Cup. Its trophy system is no exception. The Club Championship Trophy, awarded to the one club that rose above the rest and reigned supreme across all EWC games. The Game Trophy, when a competitor closes their eyes, it's all they see, and it's not complete until it's sealed with a champion's key. Every participant earns a key engraved with their name. That's their right to compete. This year, returning champions hold a key unlike any other. Only one can place their key into the Game Trophy and become an EWC champion. The frame of the champion's key is embedded into the totem, a stone marker of legacy displaying every champion of the year. the keys of the eliminated will be crushed. The champions select 3 broken keys as a personal token, a reminder of who they have humbled. Beneath the totem, a resin block holds the remaining keys, a graveyard of fallen contenders. Will your dreams be broken or your name carved in gold and stone? At EWC, nothing is granted, everything is earned.
And of course, more keys will be crushed today. Some of these players' keys will be gone. Here's our 16 players coming on in to today, Loco, as we have said goodbye to 2 already. And a lot of these are big contenders for the World Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I find this one very difficult to predict, right? And like you said, we're going to be eliminating 4 players today. I honestly have a hard time picking any names.
$700,000 on the line for these guys, of course, and for some of those players, they very realistically know that they could be walking away with that $200,000. Some big favorites overall, Wardy, to try and challenge for that #1 spot.
Man, it's so cool. I was saying this before the tournament, but there's so many players who could win. Like, it's so exciting. Like, I'm so used to saying Serral, Clem,
It's
you know.
much more open,
but
right?
it more than ever before, it's so cool to have a tournament where we just don't have a favorite. I think it's genuinely unpredictable. Yes, there's a group of people who can do it, but I honestly think everyone below that has a really good chance as well.
I think
we saw some of those glimmers of hope
I like
for
what they're
some
kind of
players.
bringing up here. I think what they're getting at is, if you remember the finals of Stars Agora was a really intense back and forth between Serral and Clem. It was not one-sided like last year, right? Last year, Clem had a much more one-sided performance against Clem and was looking much more dominant. Now it feels like the skill level between Clem and Serral is a little bit closer than previously. Likewise, we have Classic, of course, who also recently defeated Serral, so that's like another player in the ring that can bring down some of these bigger names. Hero, of course, we've been seeing less of Hero as of late, so he's also another big contender. Maru, he's a little bit more of a question mark just because he's been looking a little bit less dominant and a little bit less in form as of late, but he can always pop off depending on his practice regimen as well, as he's also been a little bit more inactive. So yeah, I do agree, like, it's really cool to see a little more competition, I should say, coming into this EWC. Meanwhile, a big shout out in the chat, a big shout out to I Stand Papi Gaga. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to the community. Thank you so much for gifted subs to SBIM, to Zianic, to Thresh GPS, to Mute, and to TRZY. Thank you. Share my papi, share my. Thank you. Do appreciate the support, as always, papi, as always.
Very close match. Ultimately,
Just catching up.
Classic win, but very fun to see.
All the subs.
Yeah. As we said,
But yeah, just echoing what Wardy said. Like, again, there's definitely I should say that the skill gap between the players is a lot smaller this year than previous years, where it did feel a lot larger.
It was, right? It was a little bit of everything. Rogue coming in and showing what he's good at, Classic showing what he's good at, but also having that chance to mix
They're
it
just
up a
showing
little bit.
yesterday's results.
Definitely what you want to
Solo
see.
took down Zoun, Maru took down Trigger, Serral, Hero Marine, and Hero
the B
Lancer.
stream running as well. So yesterday the results were as follows from there. Make sure to tune in today as well alongside the A stream, where we are the cool kids, the cool guy. No, they're pretty cool over on B as well. I'm not gonna lie.
The shade.
Some good games too. We have Maru, Serral. I mean, I can't complain.
Are you trying to coax people to just watch us?
No. They should stay here 100%.
All right, well, these were some of the results here from yesterday. Unfortunately for some of our players, their keys were crushed, demolished, their dreams and shattered on the ground. And it was
Oh, the
all
instant
thanks-
replay, let's go.
Man, he must have pushed that button so hard. You know what? Like, he
They got
pressed it,
destroyed.
He got shocked as well. It was like, oh my god, it actually destroyed it. It was crazy.
I think he can let go of the button a little sooner, right? But he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
no. It's going all the way.
Here we go again.
Drama. Bam. That was a bit early, sorry.
Well, it explodes. You got a fright.
It's one of those things where I haven't been watching the other esports, so I don't know if all the keys are being crushed like this or not. But as they were mentioning, we brought it up yesterday. Last year, they only press it down hard enough to bend the key, but at least to kick things off, like Gabe, he went all the way and he completely snapped it, which I don't know if that's meant to happen. Like, it is like a cooler visual to see like the key fully snapped in half, but I don't know if that's meant to be what he's doing. I don't know if he's meant to let go sooner or if he's meant to go all the way. So I don't know if this is something new to this year where they want to like snap the keys as opposed to last year where they just bent them. Which, I mean, the visual it does look better. It does look better to see them snapped in half and all that stuff. So we'll see. I will say that I do like that more. I just don't know if that's intentional.
Serious when it comes to facing off against Terran with Protoss. This is the moment where you accidentally misrelied an immortal across the map, and Yeah, Wardy already mentioned.
You're being so jacked, he doesn't even have that. He doesn't even need the press to crush the keys. He doesn't. He doesn't. With his fingers, Pap. He's crazy.
He's looking like he's ready to go.
That's the game.
I love how Clem flabbergasted that he had the immortal walk, and then flabbergasted that he'd won the game off the back of it.
It's like, wait a second, it's immortal. How can it die? It doesn't make any sense.
And then, of course, we kind of rounded things out yesterday with Cure going up against Showtime. Cure did take that 2-0.
But yeah, they're just going over
What really
yesterday's
stood out
results.
For me, Wardy, was how Game 2 went down. Yes, okay, Game 1, Cure was doing Cure things, and eventually we had a little bit of a weird scenario with the armies going down. But Game 2, he decided, what if I make nothing in my base ever?
It was like old school Terran, right? It's like, hey, we cannot possibly let the Protoss
I mean,
do anything.
I would push against what Kalara just said. I would say that game 1 was really close. Like, this is game 1 that they're showing on Tugmac. Was actually really close between Showtime and Cure.
This is what I do to Protoss.
It was game 2, which was more one-sided, which was a little bit more brutal with the proxy 1-1-1.
So Showtime said it as well afterwards. He's like, man, you know, it's really nasty when Terrans have things planned for you, but hey, I'm feeling good for tomorrow. But I think the story of this series was just how prepped Q is, and that's super exciting for whatever he has planned later today against Hero.
Yeah, definitely. I was musing over like how he was gonna, you know, or we were musing over how.
And this is showing game 2. This was the shortest series of the broadcast. It was like a 10-minute series. It's crazy.
Those buildings trying to block some of this area. The pylon's super exposed. It shuts down all the production.
Cure. He was an animal.
In what he could do against this attack.
I always like it when Terran players treat the entire map as their main base, you know? Just build everything. Maybe start off with a supply depot in the main, but anything goes anywhere.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, very impressive stuff from Cure. Of course, we'll be seeing him throughout the day as well. And we can see some of the reactions coming in from yesterday as well here. And this is, of course, brought to you by good old Sony. So let's take a look at some of those reactions.
I thought I was going to say Pepsi.
From Sony. I think that we have some very animated players. Some very exciting.
Yes, the fist bump.
Yeah.
what was that from the B stream? You see Hero? He was like, what is this?
It's an intense
He's like,
game, right? We saw the heart rate monitors and everyone's pumped up, and then you get that sudden release of like
Hero, calm down.
Or complete disappointment and devastation.
That was Hero series against Cyan.
Because I do feel like that's what it is. We are at the World Championship, and then you lose out. It does not feel good. So especially today when we knock players down, it's going to be some.
He looked almost offended by what was happening on screen.
Effectively for all these guys, a double elimination bracket. So far, so good for Clem, Solar, Reina, and Maru. All of those guys will be playing today. We will know 2 names moving forwards.
For those that are curious, the elimination matches are going to be up first. That's going to be ByuN versus Zoun and Shin versus Trigger, I believe.
Completely loco.
ByuN Zoun and Shin versus Trigger. Then we have the qualifying matches after that. 6 in total, 6 best of 5s in total here tonight. And the B stream have their own matches, of course.
Necessarily expect them to be at this stage of the tournament already.
No, definitely not. In Group B, we got ourselves Hero, Cure, Classic, and Serral. As, of course, looking at towards Hero and Cure, we get, as if we didn't already have some cool stuff with our previous GSL final runbacks, we get yet another one, Wardy.
Yeah, another GSL final rematch, man, and they keep.
I am kind of rematch as well.
So yeah, I think that's going to be super cool. Preparations obviously in full swing. You know, Q had a very good idea that hey, I'm just going to prep against Protoss. Probably knows what he's going to do against each of them as well. So I'm super excited for that series. I actually think there's so much potential for just crazy Terran bases all over the map, sort of kind of style. So yeah.
I would say I expect that to be a short series.
As well as we did.
Like that can go all the way to game 5, and it could be like a 20-minute series.
Actually fall. I don't think much has changed in terms of our favorites here, Loco.
It's such a long list, though, right? Like normally, Wardy already mentioned it, but normally it's like
I'm still very iffy about putting Maru in the favorites, but I think more or less like most people can agree on this. Like regardless of placement.
But we have a lot of other players here too.
For sure.
Classic, we have Hero, Maru, Rainer. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite this year.
I think the thing that stands out for me on the favorites is that Raynor, to me, yesterday looked more of a favorite than he had in my eyes coming in. You know?
I agree.
Like he actually really dominated against Shin, and then he said he wasn't even happy with how he played after. So
this was the flank upon flank upon flank here.
This is the surround.
Cool to watch, but yeah, he said he wasn't happy with his performance, right? He thought he played quite sloppy.
Quite sloppy. He said he was distracted because he kept wondering what the heart monitor rate was. What? Yeah, he said he couldn't stop thinking about what his heart rate was at that point in time.
That's the only reason he goes.
Afraid they're so self-conscious. It's like, oh no, everyone can see my heart rate.
Look at the contenders as well here, as we do have Shin in that spot at the moment after falling against against someone like Arena. So it is a tough deal to go up against someone like that, especially with.
I don't know if I would make such strong of a statement after seeing yesterday's ZVZ between Reina and Shin. Like, it looked pretty. To me, it looked like what we would expect in a way. Like, I mean, I say that I expected it to go to the ace match at least between Shin and Reina. But like, I don't know if that's really indicative of his play against Protoss or Terran. Like, I do think that this next series is going to be a little more telling. I'm really curious to see how Reina does approach Maru, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I'm very excited about it for sure.
I don't either, if I'm being honest.
Okay. If he won the tournament, would he have been a dark horse? Yes. But is he actually in the running to win? I don't think so. I think he got by yesterday with just very standardized play. I don't think that cuts it here. I think he's going to struggle. I think there's players that are better prepped, honestly.
Sure.
So, yes, Hero Marine's scary. Yes, he's powerful. And yes, I think he can beat a lot of these
Is he
guys,
saying
but
Gabe
I
played
don't think
standard?
it takes to go the full
Fab, he
distance
mech'd it up like crazy. What
I can appreciate the honesty. I think it's a harsh.
What are you talking about?
Harsh criticism, but you've got to remember this is the top 60.
Like, yeah, Gabe was playing pretty standard yesterday. You know, I don't see anything special there. I was like, what do you mean? He was crazy.
We got pretty much all of them on there.
I would say that he did have some more unique builds
It's
specifically.
just difficult to shine
At least in
against some of
TvZ.
these absolute titans of StarCraft.
I mean, the gap between the top guys and the next top guys is crazy. That's why Cyril and Clem have dominated for so long. That's why we have those favorites.
True, mech is standard nowadays. True.
Well, let's take a look at the
Standard.
schedule then. We've got our games coming in B, of course, in terms of stream B that is happening. So make sure not only to be tuning in here.
I feel like Maru just A-racks every match. Against Reina, if you said that like a month ago, I would agree. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk
I'm
about
almost
it.
tripping up myself. But we will have over there.
Because I expect Maru not to A-racks every game.
Going up against Cyan.
Because it's been some time since DreamHack Dallas and GSL, but we'll get there. Definitely a lot to discuss for the Mario series.
But he was so good to talk to, and here, of course, is what the games are going to look like here for the stream A. So we have an insane.
So these are the upcoming matches.
We have some really good matches coming up right away, right? I mean, any of these are good. Like, there's not a single matchup that you look at that list and you just not excited to see Hero versus Kira as well later. And then
they're implying that Hero Marine standard is crazy. I mean, I hope so. I don't know.
We'll cover it.
Hope they're watching the games.
Forward, but all of these games excite me.
Yeah, and so much so that it was quite agonizing to pick our Saudi National Bank match of the day, but it is going to be Classic going up against Cyril. Congratulations, Classic. Your 2 days in a row match of the day.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Too much of a surprise. I mean, this is a pretty good match, Waddy.
Well, it's not a surprise, but it caused fire in the green room. We've never seen the casters fighting so early in the tournament. Yeah, I mean, Maru Reino's an amazing match, but I think this one really is match of the day for me because it's the rematch from Dallas, right? Classic, he knocked Cyril out to qualify for EWC.
I would agree that this is probably the match of the day. The reason why I rate this more than Reina versus Maru is because I think that Classic versus Cyril is going to be closer. I think there's a lot on the line there. I think there's a lot of expectations of Cyril to get his revenge or to have a different approach against Classic.
Going up against
for sure.
Here on stream A, so hold on to your butts because
I would agree.
It's going to be annoying against Zoun. We'll see how this is all going to go down. But talk to me about this match here, Logo.
Are they getting ready?
Get things rolling for it because it's
ByuN v
a very
Zoun.
important game for like Team Vitality.
These are all best of fives?
For
Yes,
Zoun.
yes.
On the
All
other
best of
hand,
fives.
Both of these players, I don't see as the guys that are going to be able to maybe go all the way. They could. But they're two that kind of are going to be hidden in the shadows, maybe, and one of them is going to have a hard time, maybe.
Yeah, and simultaneously, I don't think these are the two players we really expect to be eliminated early on in the tournament, too, right? Because we're still in the early rounds of the event overall, and I feel like maybe we don't necessarily expect either Zoun.
In regards to what they just said about Zoun and ByuN, I would look at like Zoun's run in Star Zagora. I would look at ByuN's recent performances as well. I do think that both Zoun and ByuN are peaking at the moment in skill, which is really important, especially coming into EWC. It's hard though, just because there's just so many strong players in this tournament. But yeah, I think I would agree in the sense that it's surprising to see them both this close to being eliminated in the tournament. But it also shows just the caliber of players in this tournament as well.
Early, making your game miserable, and that's going to be the absolute key to him. And mixing it up game by game, like keeping Zoun on edge, proxying a little bit, I think is going to be very important. I mean, ByuN's going to have stuff planned, there's no doubt, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see if that can break down what is typically a very stout Zoun defense.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how the tempo can be set by someone like ByuN. I thought yesterday he was going to be able to set the tempo a little bit more against his opponents, but it didn't quite materialize the way I thought it was going to. But against Zoun here, I think ByuN realizes that he's actually a very dangerous opponent that he does need to nullify quickly.
Yeah, ByuN definitely struggled a little bit yesterday. Every time he dropped the map first, he decided to go for a cheese in the second game.
He did.
That was really cool to see, not really afraid to put it all on the line and maybe risk it. I wonder if maybe he has also seen the Cure versus Showtime series that we had yesterday, right? Because there are certainly a lot of inspiration that you can draw from a match like that.
I would push. We spoke about this yesterday, where ByuN, he's the least cheesy of the Korean Terrans in this tournament, or just in general. I say that obviously he did proxy like once in each series. That is true, but I guess when I say less cheesy, I'm referring specifically to two-base all-ins. We spoke about this, right? How he's less likely to pull the boys and go for these two-base all-ins. Not saying that he never will, but he's less likely to. I'm really curious to see how Zoun approaches this series, just because Zoun is typically a really well prepared player. What I mean by that, if you've been watching Zoun this year in GSL, like, he would often come out with a lot of cheese. I mean, I still think about GSL, the group stage, Zoun versus Hero, where Zoun cannon rushed Hero. He was an animal. Like, Zoun, he did almost nothing but all in and cheese in his GSL run. Like like Zoun, he was embracing that so much and so hard. So I expect to see something cheeky out of Zoun here as well. But we'll see, we'll see. I'm really excited to see though how Zoun approaches ByuN.
I'm wondering if maybe we're going to see more drop play from him today.
What do you think, Wardy?
Yeah, he had a few times where he lifted the medevacs against Astray and he just never found the opening. And that's when he was like, okay, I'm just going to shove the right side completely. And that's where it went wrong. So yeah, that's going to be a key part of Zoun's game, right? Make sure that drop play doesn't get off. Make sure your bases are covered. And if you do that, you really negate one of the main ways that ByuN is going to feel good about playing this series. So that's definitely going to be a key factor.
That's good to bring up.
Downside defensively. I think that does come down more to the Protoss. Like, ByuN's going to try and drop.
Yeah.
So it's down to the Protoss if they let them drop or if they completely shut it down and force them into a different mindset.
Yeah, I'm glad they bring this up. Like, this is like ByuN's style, and this is ByuN's biggest strength, is his drop play, is his multi-prong aggression in TvP. More so that, less so like cheesing or less so all-ins.
Yeah, I think across the board, ByuN is one of the smartest players when it comes to playing a series.
Yeah.
Rarely do we see him play the same build back-to-back, and he's not afraid to like open up with cheese in the second game, for example, and then go for a command center first in the next one. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to be seeing more of that indeed. Like, maybe start off with some aggression, right? Maybe try to throw the opponent off right from the get-go.
Yeah, we saw so many cool little tricks yesterday, like hiding the Marine back to make it look like it was a Reaper first and so on. Loads of stuff like that, hiding the barracks in the first game too. So yes, I think there's going to be a lot of little tricks. I think there's going to be a lot of piecing things together from ByuN. I think he has to be very smart because he wants successful early games. You're going to have to outsmart your opponent in any way that you can. So
we got the Venus.
There's no tricks to hold back. Use everything.
No
in your
last
arsenal.
fantasy.
And of course, it's best of 5, right? So we get some more awkward maps than usual.
Torches to start things off. Leyline, Ultra
Crazy.
and Pylon if we need it. All right, well, we are just moments away from actually getting day number 2 underway here. Who do you think is going to win? Very quick.
That's a difficult one. Okay, let's say ByuN.
Let's say ByuN. All right. Well, let's get it going here.
I thought
We
asked
have got
Wardy.
our day number 2 underway here for the Esports World Cup.
Thought they were gonna get everyone's predictions. It's like, who do you think's gonna win? It's like they hear from Logo. Okay, we're that's kind of weird.
Ready to duke it out for their share.
I'm looking forward most to crossing Klemsky, just because he did take me down last time, and then he also took my key last time, so I think that's already enough reason.
Trying to take a trade here. He knows that he's going to get further and further ahead if he does, and that's going to be it. GG.
I would say I'm in very good form. I've changed up method of preparation this year a little bit. Let's see if it works out.
Damage being done already. Another storm, man. Every single queen and the lings getting hit by that storm. These
10년 동안 프로토스 우승 데가 없었는데 10년 만에 프로토스의 우승자 제가 되겠습니다.
Be just a little bit too late and boom, blink forward, whites of the army, GG.
10년 만에 프로토스 우승의 주인공은 저입니다.
Best of luck to you.
빠르게 떨어지진 않겠습니다. 지옥에서 살아 돌아온 만큼 꼭 이번엔 우승까지 해보도록 하겠습니다.
전부 부수겠습니다.
I'll try to repeat last year's performance and do it all again.
let's go. Do we got the drums again? We're gonna play them in. Bring out the band.
Day 1 laid the foundation. Day 2 brings escalation. Today, players will feel the elation of qualification and the frustration of eradication as we head to Elimination Station.
To protect and unite all peoples within our nation of StarCraft 2, and of course to protect their keys from devastation.
We about to drop some beats? What's going on?
Players for the first match to the stage. Please welcome from Shopify Rebellion, ByuN, and from Team Vitality, Zoun.
I'm glad that Seltzer went for it though, because I was thinking of the Team Rocket theme when he was
overcoming the play-in
when he was speaking.
100%. Yesterday, ByuN has worked harder than most to get to today.
My brain also went to the same place.
Make victory here that much sweeter.
Calm under pressure, deadly in execution. The Protoss tactician is on the hunt for the win. Can he do it when it matters most with his tournament life and
they should have cosplayed as Jesse and James. Like,
versus Protoss. Zoun.
They almost had it. They almost had
Get
it.
into it. Casters, take it away.
Casito.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to day 2 of StarCraft 2 at EWC. I am State. Joined with me is Rotterdam, and we are getting ready to go into the first elimination match of the day. Zoun versus ByuN. One of these players.
Okay. Let's go. So I was curious about something as well. As we're showing off the videos once again, I was curious if they were going to show off the caster cams. So I have 2 streams right now. I have the clean feed and I have the dirty feed. The dirty one is the one with the casters' voices. But I'm going to be switching back and forth in between series. That'll be the plan. For today, we'll see how it goes. Yesterday, we just did full clean feed. But I like the idea of having of hearing them like in between series to hear their thoughts and to hear what's going on outside of just the games themselves. But what I was curious about is that were we gonna pan to the casters this time? Because if you remember, we did not have caster cam yesterday at all. And once again, we don't have it here today either. It's weird. I was curious if it was only like if it was a day 1 thing, but yeah, they straight up don't have they're not showing the caster desk, which is kind of odd. Just because we heard they're doing it for the B stream. But here we go, we're jumping into game 1. Let's go. Let us go. Give us the dirty feed, you get it later. Once again, the audience is mic'd. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of torches, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Protocol Slayer. For Team Vitality, it is Zoun. They just give you no time for the second intro. No time at all. But already we do have Zoun moving out with a cheeky opener. Now, if you remember something that we were discussing, and now I feel validated here, we were talking earlier in the lead up to this series how Zoun was hyper cheesy in his GSL games, and he was looking very prepared, and he did nothing but cheese, nothing but all-in GSL. We saw that against Hero. That's when I made the reference to Zoun cannon rushing Hero as well. So this is kind of what I was expecting coming into the series, is Zoun being hyper cheesy. But as a reminder, this is the best of 5, and if you're in the chat, it is it will soon be Gamma time. Hold on. Predictions will soon be open for our first series of the broadcast. Here we go. Bam, if you're in the chat, there it is. Predictions are open. Yeah, predictions are open. You can see here ByuN moving in for the eBay block will delay the expansion, but remember, we do have a proxy 2 gate out of Zoun. He's committing that much harder here, and we do see Zoun. He does pull a couple of extra boys. Zelda's on the way. I do like that he does pull some workers, but at the same time, this is very suspect. At the same time, this eBay has so much progression that doesn't make sense for boys to be pulled, so something is wrong. Something is wrong, something is amiss, and I hope that ByuN can piece together that something doesn't feel quite right here as we're going proxy double Zealot. ByuN back at home. CC on the high ground does go for an economic opener, does go Rax expand, not Rax into factory. Ooh, he had the option to do so, but alas, he's going to be cutting some corners here. ByuN is being a little bit greedier. He is scouting for proxies, checking at the third base location, but does he check even further out? Because we are banking up stalkers. Uh-oh. As down, he's banking up, getting ready to commit. As he's building up his army. This might just be an insta-win, by the way. Fun fact, ByuN has nothing. ByuN has 1 Marine. That's the army. He has an add-on on the way. He has a factory on the way. Remember, he delayed his factory for the CC. ByuN, he made the choice to be greedy this game, and he's going to be punished. He's going to be punished here as Delta have arrived, and now ByuN realized what's been going on. And, yeah. The pants are down. I mean, the pants are down. The bunker should not finish. The boys are being pulled to repair as Depot does fall. And that should be game. Like, there's just nothing here. Again, there's 1 Marine. GG gets called, and Zoun, he kicked things off with a win. He will take a 1-0 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, we expected cheese out of Zoun, and ByuN, he had signs that something was wrong. Winding it back here, what did ByuN go for? He went for an eBay block into a Rax into a CC. Winding it further back, when you go for the eBay block like that, you don't expect the boys to be pulled to focus down because there's just so much progression on that eBay. So for 3 boys to be pulled, that was already suspect. That was already kind of weird as to what Zoun was responding with. And we saw that ByuN was scouting for a proxy. Despite something being off, ByuN chose to delay his factory. It is not uncommon, especially because the eBay was left finished or left almost completed across the map, to still go for the factory after the Rax, but he chose to delay the factory. He chose to go for the faster CC, so ByuN was being greedy despite there being signs that something was a little bit weird about Zoun's build, and in the end, ByuN got caught with his pants down. He did Gamba, and in the end, Zoun takes it. GG. GG, well played. So ByuN, again, just gambling a little bit there, did take a risk. In the end, he got punished for it, and now we're getting into game 2. A really fast game 1. Now, even though I was talking about how I expect cheese out of Zoun, I don't really expect him to cheese every game, but we'll see. We'll see. My eyes are definitely going to be on Zoun when it comes to his builds, because I'm pretty sure he's coming in prepared with something more unique every game of this series. So our eyes are going to be on Zoun. So jumping into that second game. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2. This should have not worked so easily. I mean, again, like ByuN, he chose not to get the factory follow-up. He chose to get the CC follow-up instead. It's like ByuN, he was cutting corners. He was taking a big risk. And here we go in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran. It is ByuN for Shopify. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss. It is of Team Vitality, Zoun. Are they giving him more time here? Let's go. But here we go. We are going to be jumping in. And after some cheese, after some aggression out of Zoun here in game 1, once again the probe is being sent out across the map, and our eyes are on the probe of Zoun. Meanwhile, we just see ByuN setting up his racks back at home. There's no proxy rack set up here in the second game. Likewise, we'll keep an eye on the gases. So far, just the 1 gas is being taken, and Zoun is moving in with that worker, and we'll see if we just move in for the scout, or if we have something more sinister up our sleeve as just the scouts. Okay, so just coming in for the scouts. I don't blame him. If you recall, they were bringing up the fact that ByuN, he was going for proxies every second game last night or yesterday, but not here, not this time. As the Rax is back at home, the probe does confirm. Likewise, goes further into the main base, single gas opener, so ByuN is going economic. He's going for a Rax into CC, not into factory. So economic opener here by ByuN. Zoun, he can choose to try to punish this. No, sorry, did I say ByuN? Zoun can choose to try to punish this. Zoun, he has the option here to go into Adepts, to go into Stalkers early on, to try to delay the CC of ByuN. We'll see if he can. Meanwhile, ByuN going for the faster Tech Lab. Let's go. You can see here on the production tab, Tech Lab is on the way. Now this could be one of two things, and because there's no factory, it looks like a Marauder based opener. Now if you remember, we spoke about this yesterday, but these Marauder openers are designed to punish your opponent trying to punish you. So we have Marauders, we have Concussive Shell on the way. This is designed to catch the first Adept and the first Stalker if Zoun tries to punish the CC of ByuN, which he's prompted to because ByuN went for an economic start. So there's like a lot of mind games happening here. ByuN is gambling once again. He's hoping that Zoun is going to try to punish him, then he's going to try to punish the Punisher Zoun. Let's go. So we have the Marauders building up. Meanwhile, Zoun, he opens up. Oh my god, he's crazy! ByuN, third CC before factory even. On location as well. ByuN, we have seen him go for these 2 racks openers into third CC before. That is a little bit more common, like the ByuN opener. We saw that so much in the previous map pool. Geez, I forget the name of the map, but we used to reference it all the time. But on location is one step further, so hyper greed out of ByuN. And a nice catch on the Adept, as we mentioned. That's the purpose of those 2 Marauders, is to catch the first gateway unit and to punish Zoun. So ByuN does punish, ByuN moves out, Hallucination comes in, and we'll see if Zoun can scat the third CC. Because ByuN, he's being very greedy here. And he sees the 3x. Yeah, he sees 3x. This is indicative of there potentially being a third CC, but you'd never expect that on location. So the Hallucination checks the triangular third location, checks the main base, sees no command center. It looks like a 3x, when really it's anything but. Really, the linear third was taken instead. So very cheeky setup here from ByuN. And so far, he gets away with it. So far, it is hidden. So I'm loving ByuN's play so far. Behind this, we have 3-gate Blink and a Robo as well. Very safe play out of Zoun. This is a bit of a misread. Basically, it looks like Zoun is expecting 3-act stim, like a stim timing, an early stim timing with stim, with combat shields, with a heavy bio push early on. Based on what he's seeing, it makes sense. So he's getting ready for that. We can see that ByuN is cutting corners. This is where Zoun also needed to cut corners, where he would also need to delay his third gateway, maybe even delay his Robo, get a faster third Nexus himself, as he does not check. I mean, it's not a common third location. It's not a common third location, so Zoun, he doesn't see, so Zoun is working with incomplete information, and Zoun is misreading this game state. Aye. But again, Zoun, he could be greedier here, or he could be more aggressive, right? He could be one or the other, but right now he's playing safe instead. Now, he can still be active with these Stalkers, of course, and he needs to be, but I don't know if he will have enough to really do much with this army. He's taking up into Storm. Jesus. So Temple Archives on the way. He's taking up into Storm before the third. So once again, just really safe play. You can see Zoun, he's checking for the army. He's being active. Zoun, he has to apply pressure to try to punish ByuN in some way. Hallucination is able to get a full scout. Should notice that the bio army is quite small. Yeah, Zoun is poking forward. But, like, he doesn't have a prism with this. He cannot reinforce. Like, he's not being too aggressive. He's getting a third base behind this as well. So ByuN should be fine. Yeah, Zoun does pull away. Soundly fast third base from ByuN, I guess, trying to get Zoun to react to the Marauders. No, as we mentioned, Zoun, he scouted the 3-ax. If I didn't make it clear, Zoun, he scouted the 3-ax, so it looks like a stim timing, which is a build that does exist in SC2. So he scouted a stim timing, so he was expecting a stim timing, but it isn't that. Again, the Marine count is much lower than it otherwise would be, and instead, ByuN is being greedy. So far, just really good mind games here by ByuN. Really solid mind games. And he gets away with it. Like, ByuN, he has gone away with his build, and now he sees. Yeah, now he knows. Now he's aware, and he's going to be able to punish the economy a little bit here. He gets 1, maybe 2 SCV kills, but now he knows that he's behind. And this build for ByuN really kicks into high gear in the mid game. Right now, it's still taking a while for the third base to get saturated and for it to pay for itself, but soon, momentarily, that base, that economy is going to kick in, and then the supply is going to skyrocket ahead for ByuN. That's when it shoots up, that's when it spikes up, that's when he's going to be at his strongest. And unfortunately, again, Zoun was just playing very safe. He was playing very, very safe here, and sure, he has Storm, sure, he has all these High Templar, sure, he has a setup here on 2 bases. Like, he shouldn't die to this first wave, wave. This is also where ByuN has to be careful not to throw away too much. Oh, he got 6 Stalkers. He got 6 Stalkers. He got all the Stalkers that were across the map. ByuN does take a storm to the face. Oh, God. That's that. ByuN, calm down. We're not meant to commit. So, nice storms here by Zoun. And again, ByuN, he should not commit into this. Like, this is not ByuN's final form. ByuN has to wait a little bit longer for that base to really kick in. At least now ByuN is aware of storm. ByuN, he pulls away. Zoun pushing in. We'll take a mine shot to the face. Storm's going to be zoning. Storm's going to be zoning. Here comes the Prism. Here comes the aggression again. Zoun, he has to try to punish that third. So I do like this response out of Zoun. Like, he's going to go. He's going to send it. He's got 3 storms behind this. 3, soon to be 4 storms. Zelsa peel off into the mineral line. SB is going to be going down. And Zoun, can he break through? That's a lot of Marauders. Boys are being pulled. Oh, God! Storms, they graze the army. They graze the SCVs. Oh, my God. Brutal storms. And Zoun, he will break through. He will barely punish in time. Again, if this game had gone on any longer, then ByuN would have snowballed out of control with that third. But that's going to be 23 SCV kills, and Zoun does punish. Whew. So with that, ByuN, he will lose the entire mineral line. And ByuN is in trouble. ByuN, he's hurting. He's down to 2 bases. He almost, but did not get away with that third. And Zoun's got, what, 2, soon to be 3 storms left over. Oh. Yeah, now pushing in. Does once again storm, does zone. More Zealots rallying forward. And again, like, ByuN, he just pinned back. Like, he just can't kite back. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The storms are connecting. The storms are brutal. The choke point working against ByuN here, as he's taking all the storms to the face. And again, a cheeky build by ByuN, and I thought he got away with it, but no, barely not. So GG gets called, and Zoun takes a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. Zoun, he is a 1 game away from claiming the series, and game 1 we had Zoun being very cheesy, very cheeky with his build and punishing ByuN. Here we had ByuN instead being the cheeky one, being hyper greedy and rushing into the third base. And again, we spoke about it, ByuN, this build really kicks into high gear when the third base gets saturated. Once it gets saturated, then he can make use of that greater economy, have the greater production, have the greater tech, and then snowball out of control in the mid game. But just before that third base really kicked in, bam, Zoun, he counterattacked, he got the Prism, he moved out with his storms, and he made use of that army. I was concerned that he was going to be too passive and too defensive. But if you remember, he had built up this army early on, and he did make use of it. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And now we're getting into game number 3. And I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for a game 4, a game 5. I know there's a lot of ByuN fans out there as well. Like, I think we all, even Zoun fans, want a series out of this one, a back and forth. But alas, 1 more loss. And that's going to be the end of ByuN's tournament run. This is the elimination match. Remember that. This is when the keys are crushed, Bappy. Oh my God. Let's go. As we are jumping into game number 3. And we'll see if it all ends here and now. As we're going to be loading into Ultralove. Now, Ultralove is known for aggression. It favors aggressive builds as well. We have seen ByuN go for economic openers every game. Game 1, Rax expand. Game 2, Rax expand into a fast third. Game 3, I'm expecting double gas, but we'll keep an eye on ByuN. As spawning in the left-hand corner of Ultralove, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Shopify, and 1 game away from being knocked out, it is ByuN. Pressure is on. You can see no smiles here for ByuN. He's locked in and spawning in the top right-hand corner. We have the blue Protoss from South Korea. It is Zoun for Team Vitality. 1 game away from claiming the series and knocking ByuN out of the Esports World Cup. And honestly, it's been a pretty fast series. Like, it's been really fast games. We have not been able to really indulge in the mid game at all so far. We haven't been able to have that back and forth. And we'll see how ByuN does adjust. As I mentioned, welcome to Ultra Love, the rush distance by ground is shorter, some of the bases are more exposed, and it's a much more direct rush distance from third to third as well. So we often see a lot of 2-base all-ins on this map from the side of Terran. Like, this is where, when I think of Ultra Love, when I think of Pylon, this is where even ByuN embraces 2-base all-ins from time to time. But that is not the case here. What do we see? Single gas, Marine first. CC on the high ground, cancels the Marine even. He canceled the Marine for a slightly faster CC, then he restarts the Marine after he builds the CC as well. Cancels once again, going, he has 0 units. ByuN is so greedy. If Zoun had gone for the same build that he went for in game 1, if he went proxy gateway, that's game. There's 0 units. 0 units for ByuN. Jesus. Okay, let's go. Aye. So, yeah, I assumed that ByuN was going to be aggressive this time coming into game 3, but no, he just takes it up to 11. Hyper greed, no Marine, no Reaper. Again, 0 fighting units here for ByuN. Purely CC into tech, just hyper greed out of our Terran player, and he will get away with it. He will get away with it. Again, thankfully, there's no proxies out of sound. I wouldn't have put it past him, to be honest. And we're going for the Cyclone. This is one of those builds, by the way. This is not safe for ladder. So if you're out there, if you're a Terran player, if you're looking at ByuN and you're like, yo, this is crazy. I want to be like ByuN. I want to cut all these corners and be greedy. You will die. You will not get away on the ladder, mate. It's full of animals, man. Full of animals. They will punish you. Aye. So with that, ByuN, he will get away with it. Behind this is going for a 1-1-1 follow-up. Cyclone first into what looks to be Mind Drop, looks to be Medevac. And we'll see how ByuN does get into the mid game here. Don't think you can play that quick over third base as Terran. You can, in the sense that ByuN, he's been known to rush into that third. Not as greedy though, as I was exclaiming. Like, we've seen ByuN rush into a fast third before, but typically it's a third in the main. It's a third in the main base, and that means that you're able to saturate your natural faster, and it means you're able to get your orbital up and mules faster, and then you slowly take your third. You eventually land it on location. So I will say that this was game 2 was slightly greedier for ByuN, but we have seen him go for these 3cc builds in the past and be quite successful with it as well, but just in a different way, and a slightly less greedier build than what he went for in game 2. Just because it didn't work, I don't think you should necessarily write it off as something that would never work. Specifically in that game, Zoun did punish, and that was just again even just greedier than normal, I should say, for ByuN in game 2. Here in game 3, we see ByuN following up with Banshee play. Let's go. We're actually getting into the mid game. For the first time, we're actually getting into a game of StarCraft. Like, again, game 1 and game 2, even though game 2, ByuN did get up to almost 3-base saturation, like, he didn't really get into his own game. Not quite yet. Here, it's happening. Here we have the Mind Drop outside of the natural. Here we have tank and Banshee production out of ByuN as well. He's building up. He's building up. We have the eBay on the way behind this for upgrades. Now, I'm curious to see how ByuN does make use of this. Based on what we're seeing here, because of the prioritization of tanks and Banshees, do you see what's happening? No stim, no upgrades for the bio army. You can pull the boys with this. You can pull the boys. That's why the eBay is throwing me off a little bit. The eBay is indicative of getting +1, which is indicative of the game progressing even longer and investing into upgrades. So we're getting a little bit of both here, and yet there we go, stim is on the way. The army breaks out, it does catch a couple of stalkers, and at the same time, Mind Drop comes in. Oh no! The boys, they don't split! Yeah, late split there. 3 probes gonna be going down at nice damage. And ByuN, he is reinforcing his army. He has yet to commit across the map. But again, he's got a lot of tanks, he's got a lot of Banshees. Like, the army right now for ByuN is looking terrifying. We're about to pan over to it, but we'll see if ByuN makes use of it. Looks like he's just trying to catch up the army. Yeah, he doesn't commit. He doesn't commit, he pulls back. He's got his follow-up upgrades on the way, stim +1. He did not invest into cloak. But again, this is just a really high tank count really early on. And ByuN, he will soon have the option to go for the all-in and to pull the boys. No shot. No, Stim! No, what a volley! He gets it! Oh, God. Stim goes down. Massive pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN out of position. Again, all three tanks are on the low ground because he just moved out, so he was not in position to defend his main. Oof. And Zoun is going for a gateway explosion. Storm is on the way. If this goes on a little bit longer, if Zoun can get into Storm, he can shut down this push, even if he pulls the boys and he goes for the third CC on location. One tanker Zoun. Nice pick off here by Zoun. Zoun bullying ByuN. And Zoun, does he check the third? He's going to be distracted. Thankfully. Otherwise, Zoun, he could delay the third base. 100%. But he's distracted by the main army. He backs off. ByuN, he's getting away with his third. Again, on location like this is quite greedy, but I feel like ByuN has to cut corners. Ooh, as we do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. Whew. And again, so far it's been a very intense game. In general, I do favor Zoun's position, but we'll see if ByuN can get his third base up and running. We'll see if he's able to make use of this this bio timing as well with Stim with +1. It feels like ByuN only intends to posture with Zoun and to get his third base up, but Zoun is going to have his own power spike with Storm. Alright, let's go. Alright, we're going back in. Again, Storm is about to finish. Prism is on the way. The gateway explosion just finished. That Prism is indicative here of Zoun being able to push out to reinforce and to commit across the map. Yeah, here comes the Storm. Basically, this move out is very similar to the move out that we saw in game number 2. In game 2, when he broke the third. When he broke the third base. When he punished the greed of ByuN. Here, ByuN, he has more of a standing army, but hey, he lost a tank. Right, he just lost a tank. He, of course, his upgrades were delayed. Stim is still not yet done, by the way. It should be done by now, but because of the delays, ByuN, his position is weaker than it otherwise should be. And ByuN is in danger. Army gets spotted. Stim is going to finish up in, like, what, 20 seconds? Needs a little bit more time. ByuN is dropping across the map. And he's coming in! The Storms! Yeah, Storms on the army. There's not much to Storm. But Marines are going down. Tanks going down as well. And Zoun, he does take the fight, but he doesn't have enough to keep going. At the same time, he does recall back home. And Zoun defends. Zoun, he attacks, he defends. He doesn't break ByuN, but he's still out trades. Right? Like, he's still got the Storms off. He's still reset the tank count. These drops are the one thing keeping Zoun back. Otherwise, I think he would have broken the third. Oof. Zoun, he is popping off. And ByuN, he just has not been able to get into his own game. Not at all in this entire series. As ByuN's just now getting his third up and running. Fourth is finishing up here for Zoun. Banshee does hit the third. Okay. Zoun out of position. Nice damage. And we'll see if ByuN can, again, get into this game. So he's got a Banshee on the left. He's got a double drop on the right. He's got his main army in the center. He's already building up his ghost counts. At the same time, Zoun now working towards Colossus. You could argue that this bay is a little bit late for Zoun. So his Colossus production is going to be a little bit more delayed. But he's getting there. As ByuN is going to start him up and running. He has his third base. Zoun getting a fifth, trying to keep up, trying to catch up even. Like ByuN, he was greedy when he took his third, but he got away with it. Got his third base. Storm's coming in. Yeah, the first storm does land. The other, less so. So a couple of with storms. Nice snipe on the High Templar. 4 more probes going down. ByuN just being so annoying with this one Banshee. Oh, meanwhile, Zoun, he does have eyes on the double drop. Oh, can we feedback? We can! Oh my god. Oh no! Does feedback don't take that one of the medevacs. The other barely escapes with 1 HP? Jesus. Barely gets away. Finally, the Banshee goes down. 7 probe kills. I want to say that was 11 kills in total. Because he had, what, 3 earlier? So nice damage overall with the Banshee. And ByuN, he's getting into the mid game here. We're still playing on a knife's edge. Like, it's still very tense. But for the first time this entire series, ByuN, he's on a proper 3-base saturation. He has a proper army as well. He's not out of the woods yet, as medevacs are going down. Oh my god, very nice mine shot. EMP as well. I think there's one storm. Yeah, there's one storm remaining. Storm only zones, does not connect. And Zoun has to get the hell out of here. Yeah, he has to pull out. Zoun, he is in danger. He needs more splash damage, he needs more storms. Colossus production has begun. And ByuN is pushing. ByuN is maxed. He's moving out, he's maxed out. The prism is very low. As it looks like the medevac was cleaned up. Both armies are maxing. A lot of this will come down to the engagement, will come down to the positioning, the EMPs. Can he deny the storms? EMPs, they graze the army. Zoun does dive in. High Templar, they're lagging behind. Only 3 High Templar. The Templar count's actually quite low. It's quite risky here. As we're very Zealot heavy instead. Zealots they peel off into the middle line. Nice EMPs. As SCVs are going down. Main army trying to push in. Distracting ByuN. Zoun able to get 7 SCV kills. High Templar once again lagging a little bit behind. And again, still only 3 High Templar. Only 2 with the main army. Oh, there we go. There's a 3rd. Storm once again just zoning. Again, every storm is so precious here for Zoun. And the Colossus, they're still on the way. Where are they? I feel like those 2 Colossus have been in production for quite some time. Nice storms. And nice storms on the main army. Ooh, there's no storms left. Yeah, without any storms here, ByuN, can he break through? Vikings, they landed it with the Zealots. Zoun has to back off. So still waiting for more reinforcements. Once again, trying to dive in. Here we go, storms have arrived. Let's got a couple more High Templar. There we go, the Colossus are finally here. Nice scan. Vikings, they lift. Vikings do lift. Zoun actually avoiding the main army, going for the middle line. Yeah, getting caught out of position. Yeah, Zoun, he was caught out. Colossus goes down as well. But he gets 17 SCVs. Okay. Does take down the mineral line. Does cost him a Colossus. That was a lot of SCV kills. From here, Zoun, he backs off. He has to rebuild. ByuN has momentum. He's maxed. Say he's maxed. ByuN is super maxed, by the way. That means that he has a lower SCV count and he has a higher army supply instead. So he does have a massive army. Colossus are trying to kite. Nice EMP on the Colossus. Yeah, there's no shield batteries here. Yeah, no shield battery, no supports. Colossus is going to be going down, and ByuN, he does it. He breaks through that defensive line. Finally, ByuN able to get into his own game, able to get into a proper 3 and then 4 base economy, and he overwhelms. He does overwhelm. As he breaks through the mineral line, takes down the expansion, and Zoun has nothing left. There is no army. He's got 2 Colossus, a handful of gateway units. ByuN, he can just keep stimming in. And again, Zoun, he just couldn't stop these bases. He was able to get a mineral line earlier, but by that point, it didn't matter. By that point, like, ByuN, he'd already taken advantage of those bases. He was already able to max out. He was able to get into his ideal. Again, like, this is where ByuN thrives, like, in the mid-game. This is where ByuN is at his best. And GG gets called. ByuN, he will fight back. He will put a point on the board. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN, he does fight back. He does put a point on the board. Again, a very, very intense game here for ByuN as he was able to finally get into his own game state. It was a shaky start, is what I will say. Remember, what was Zoun doing? Zoun, he was picking up tanks. He was denying stim. He was hitting his own storm timing. I will say that a big moment for ByuN was the double drop. It was before this highlight when ByuN went for the double drop across the map, and remember what happened? He forced a defensive warp in and he forced a recall back home. Like, that was a big moment for ByuN, because right after that he was able to expand and establish his third CC as well, or he already had his third base on the way. And if he didn't force the recall, if he didn't force Zoun back then and there, then most likely, as I mentioned at the time, pretty sure Zoun would have broken the third. Oh Jesus. Looks like they're cutting to a break, but I'm pretty sure Zoun, he would have cut to... I'm pretty sure Zoun, he would have been able to break the third base and maybe just overwhelm from there. Maybe not won the game then and there, but at least contain ByuN on 2 bases. So it was so important that ByuN was able to get some breathing room, so important that he was able to force Zoun all the way back home, able to break out, establish his third base, and get into the mid game. GG. Whew, GG, well played. So a very intense series here as ByuN, he has begun his own comeback, and because it's best of 5, because this is an elimination match, it makes sense here to ask for the break. So, take care. they do need a moment here. We need it as well. Do need it as well. Does Zoun ever make charge lots? I was really concerned about the low Templar count. If you remember, if you're referring to the final quarter of that game, Zoun, he at most only ever had 3 high Templar. Like, his Templar count was very low, very, very low. Which sometimes is understandable, especially if your opponent has too many ghosts. Like, you do want to rely on different forms of splash damage, but he never got into disruptors. Like, he never got into his robo follow-up. Ideally, we saw he was working towards Colossus, but again, like, whether it's Colossus or disruptor or high Templar, you typically do want a nice balance of the two. To only rely on 3 high Templar like that, all it took was 1 EMP, and then there were barely any storms there for Zoun. So it was just a really risky playstyle, a really delicate dance there for Zoun, and yeah, it was difficult to really fully make work. But for now, I guess we're going to be going on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll have the remainder of the series. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, I hope you enjoyed that very short break as we returned. And again, we are still mid-series of our first series of the broadcast between ByuN and Zoun, and it has been very, very intense. Again, this is an elimination match. The loser of this series is out of EWC, and their key will be crushed. It will be crushed here. So the pressure is on both Zoun and ByuN. Zoun is up 2-1. And ByuN, he has begun his comeback, but easier said than done. The pressure is still on, and it looks like our next game is going to be on Tokamak. Oh boy. And something that I will say so far that has been indicative of ByuN's play this entire series is his greed. Even here in Game 3, remember the opener, ByuN, he went Marine, canceled the Marine, he went Rax into CC, into Factory with 0 units, into add-ons as well. Like, ByuN was so greedy in that last game when it came to the opener. And he was almost punished for it as well, by the way. He was we saw Zoun popping off at the beginning of that game, but here we go. We're getting into Tokamak, and this morning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. And this morning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player for South Korea. From South Korea, it is Zoun. Title says day 1. Oh, that should not be happening. Do apologize. Wait, what? Does it? Oh, the graphics. Oh, right. I see. Thank you. I was a little bit confused, but yes. Thank you. Now fixed. Do appreciate it. as we are going to be opening up, getting into Tokamak. Tokamak, of course, being one of the larger maps in that pool, known for more macro, longer games, and we'll see how our players will change their approach here. Again, we have seen a lot of greed out of ByuN this entire series. This does go into line as to how we were introducing ByuN at the start of the series, how ByuN is the most macro out of all the Terran players out there. Maybe Clem is similar, but like more so than Maru, more so than Cure, more so than Bunny, Gumiho, Ryung, especially all the Korean Terrans. I'll say that ByuN, he's the most mid-game oriented out of all of them. And there we go, economic opener, Rax into CC out of ByuN, delayed factory. Does go for the delayed factory. Now the factory is going to be on the way. And we'll see how our players will approach this. As Zoun does pull out. Nobody do. Este Manuel, papi. Gracias, gracias. Cálmate. He's hoping that Zoun isn't peeking on down pants. True, true. As once again, we do have Tech Lab first. Now, if you remember, ByuN, his go-to previously, it was on Ley Lines, where ByuN did go Rax into CC, and then he went into Marauder with the Tech Lab. Here he goes for an early Cyclone. Meanwhile, the Probe Scout does confirm. Probe Scout does confirm, the add-on swap does confirm that there's no Marauder, that there's going to be a Cyclone on the way instead. So nice scout here by Zoun. Very nice scout. Also, to apologize for maybe every 15 or so minutes, or it's happened every now and then. There's been a little bit of buffering on the clean feed. The feed and everything was fine yesterday. Everything was smooth, but today there's been a buffer here or there every now and then. Hopefully it clears up. Hopefully it clears up throughout the course of the broadcast. As we have our Twilight Council opener out of Zoun, throwing out additional gateways. Meanwhile, ByuN going for, I believe that is a second Rax before Starport. Ooh, so a very aggressive follow-up here out of ByuN. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I thought that was before the Starport. No, the Starport is on the way. We're going for Fake Cloak. Okay. So it's going to be a Banshee base opener. It looks like Cyclone into add-on swaps to get the Tech Lab on that Starport. Hallucination comes in. Hallucination does confirm all the setup in the main, and the Hallucination sees Cloak Banshee, when we know it's anything but. I mean, I say it's anything but. It's still Banshee, just no Cloak. So less of a commitment. We can see that Zoun, he is going for the Robo on 2 bases. So 3 gate opener into Robo, still on 2 bases, into a delayed third. So Zoun is playing very safe. Very safe play here by Zoun. And similarly to last game, we have ByuN committing, going into early tank production, but this time only the 1 Banshee into delayed stim, or much later stim. We'll see how ByuN does set up. Okay, add-on swap once again. Stim is on the way. This time, if you notice, Stim is much more secure. Last game, Stim was a little bit further out on the edge of the main base. Here, it's further in at the ramp, so it should not be denied. Yeah, Hallucination does confirm that Stim is in production. Let's confirm the location of all the production buildings as well, all the add-ons. Banshee does hit the natural. And Zoun is getting in position. Banshee should get away. But once again, from what we're getting so far out of this game is ByuN, he should be able to get into the mid-game quite comfortably. We can see that Zoun is working towards charge, gateway explosion, temple archives. Once again, Zoun is playing very safe. This is all still on 2 bases. Oh, did you notice that? For the player switch, if you remember, yesterday one of our criticisms and something that we noticed was every time they went to the player POV, it was like a blinding flash of light. It was like the Men in Black, like memory eraser. It was, it was like bam, it was like a flashbang going off. It's like but here it's still there, but it has been lessened. So it looks like they took the feedback because now it's a much more tamer. It's a tamer light and it's not as aggressive. Okay, we're holding on to our memories this time. I appreciate it. But it was much more aggressive yesterday. as we do have ByuN moving up with his double drop. Did snipe the Observer, if you recall. So nice time with the Observer, he does move out. So behind this, we have Zoun already going to Storm. Again, we did see Zoun just being very, very safe with his play. Storm is about to finish just in time for this push. And Zoun, he should shut this down, if ByuN commits. As he drops into the main. Does drop in, main army pushing right down the center. Comes down to the positional here, the positioning of Zoun. As ByuN does target fire, does get 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills, not bad. 4 workers go down, Medivacs they do get away. And the main army does head towards a third. Tanks are getting within range, they're getting in position, and Zoun is not where he needs to be. Yeah, he was distracted. Zoun, he had the tools to defend. But the base is getting low. Trying to dive forward, does get on top of the tanks. Mine shot's about to go off. Oof, and Zoun is just getting bullied back here. The base is getting even lower. Can he get it? Can he get the Nexus? It's so close. Yeah, Immortal has arrived. The Immortal barely survives as well, and Zoun holds. Whew, Zoun, he does hold on. Shuts down the push. Chases back ByuN. Double dropping to the main is still active. But I believe there are Stalkers in position. Zoun has to be careful not to overextend. As Zoun pulls away. Medivacs are pinned. And Zoun does hold on. Now, unlike in previous games, this is going to be a much later third base for ByuN. ByuN, he was quite dedicated on 2 bases, but he's still expanding. He's going for its expansion. Ghost Academy's on the way. Coming into the mid game, I do favor Zoun here. If Zoun lost his third, different story, but he holds on to it. Does hold on to it. Going for feedbacks once again. Doesn't quite get the Medivacs, but almost. ByuN is still looking for a way in. Looking for a way in. ByuN pushing in between the bases. Oh, nice storm. Very nice storm. Can confirm, had my memory erased several times yesterday as far as I remember. Let's go. Thought it was intentional. If you're referring to the blinding white lights, I think it was intended to be as bright as it was. Oh my god. As there we go. Storm goes off, takes down both Medivacs. Or maybe it was, but like they got the feedback. Which is definitely good. Zoun gains map control behind this, going for a second robo, going for the bait, going into double Colossus production. But ByuN, he has claimed his third. Oh, Marshall goes off. Zoun trying to force his way forward. He does have a storm available. He's got a couple. He's got 2. But last he gets punished. Yeah, it does not have enough. At least not on the ground. And we're getting into our game. We're getting into the mid game here. I mean, hey, Tokamak, it's known for that, right? Tokamak has a much more defendable third and fourth base. Behind this, we have initial Disruptor production, not Colossus. Okay. I mean, ByuN is already building up those Vikings. But it is risky going for Disruptors, as always. Comes down to whether or not he can find those connections. ByuN getting caught out. Oh, you catch us who? Where are the storms? There's still only 1 High Templar. Only one with the main army. Again, the low storm count has been really concerning me throughout the past 2 games. Zoun just staying on a very low High Templar count. Like, this is such a stark contrast to Estrella, where Estrella, he plays with 7 High Templar. Like, that's the biggest strength of Estrella, is that he does such a great job at just spreading out his Templar. He typically has, like, maybe 3 with the main army, and then one at the third, 1 at the fourth, like 2 further behind. He has them all spread out, ready to storm it at a moment's notice. But here, Zoun is very much so just like more tame with how many High Templar he has. Nice storm. 1 storm connects. As both armies are about to max out. see how well Zoun can handle his Novas. His disruptors. As I believe this is his second set. Yeah, 5. He's got 5 disruptors, 4 High Templar. Zoun, he is threatening the main army. Does threaten. Ready for a Zealot run by on the right-hand side. Pushing in towards a 4th. Nice splits here by ByuN. No major connections yet. And ByuN, he's somewhat in position. Oh! Yeah, Prism going to be zoned away. Storm does graze the army. Better Storm towards the end. Much better Storm. And again, it's the Storms that are connecting. Less of the Novas. Zoun, he's lacking Zealous, he's lacking reinforcements. He has to back off. If he sticks around a little bit too long, he's going to just get pounced upon. Yeah, ByuN, he does them in. Got to be zoned away. Zealous have arrived. We got some okay Novas. Yeah, better towards the end. One Nova does connect. Disruptor goes down. And Zoun is getting bullied all the way back. A second Disruptor falls. Oh, nice catch. Takes on one of the ghosts. Again, he's still just trying to pump out as many disruptors as he can. But ByuN is pushing in. Zoun, he needs more warp-ins. And the Storms are grazing the army, but no major connections yet. Yeah, still just zoning the army back. Buying some time. Behind this, ByuN, he establishes his 4th base. He's taking up into Liberators. Liberator range on the way. And so far, I'm favoring ByuN here. He's almost at his Liberators. He's almost there. Once again, splitting up his army. Does catch High Templar. Oh! Does barely get it. Nice snipe. Takes on 1. And again, there's not that many remaining. Yeah, nice EMPs. Does take down the Templar. The base itself is going to go down. Zoun, he will catch up this army though. Nice snipes on the medevacs. Takes on 3 medevacs, but Zoun, he's out of position. He's getting torn apart. Disruptors are not good enough, and the base is going to fall. And Zoun just getting pulled apart here. Oh, dropping into the main. It's pure disruptor for defense. I mean, that is a lot of Novas. And he does get some okay connections. How many? 12? What? How many disruptors does he have? No, friendly fire. Bit of friendly fire. Nice another counterattack though. Oh, that's going to be 12 probes going down. That's a lot of balls, Pappy, but alas, he's still being torn apart. Another base going to be falling. ByuN pulls out, pulls away. Another Nexus goes down. And Liberation has arrived. Zealots, they are getting some decent damage though. That's a lot of SCVs falling. 25. 25 SCV kills. We're getting messy. Once again, Zoun not where he needs to be. ByuN going for another Nexus, going for top left. Yeah, he gets into the middle line. Another base going down. The base was low from earlier. Oh, that's going to be a kill on the Nexus. Now, Zoun, he can still take a fight, but when I say that, it comes down to his disruptors. And he has so many. He has 10. He has 10 disruptors. That's an insane disruptor count, so he can still win a fight. He can win a fight and then end the game. At this point, Zoun, it feels like he's pretty all in here. He's pretty all in, he's pretty committed. The army's coming together. My big concern is the Liberator count, though. Like, Liberators have been slowly building up. Job comes back in. Zoun, he turns around! Oh, he turns back around. He was just about to push in. Again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for ByuN. ByuN, he's building up a greater army. The supplies were neck and neck, but now ByuN, he's about to max. ByuN has an economy. ByuN has production. Zoun is supply blocked. Like, we need some more urgency here out of Zoun. And ByuN is running away with it. Yeah, he's running away with it at this point. The disruptors do not matter. Not anymore. As Zoun is getting torn apart. Brilliant MPs. Novas, they shouldn't connect. It grazes the army, takes down a ghost. But ByuN's in the main. He's in the main base. Still dancing with the army. Hiding back, he finds the mineral line. Takes out the probes. And from here, he can just pick up. He can just pick up, he can boost away. He sims into the disruptors, takes down 1, 2, 3 disruptors go down. A couple of Novas are connecting, but he can afford it. He can afford it. He's still rebuilding his army. And Zoun's running on fumes. Again, Zoun had potential when it came to a head-on fight, but he never got it. He never got that head-on fight that he wanted. He was forced back home time and time again. This is where these larger maps, I would say, favor ByuN. True. But he's able to have a little bit more freedom. Speaking of freedom, Liberation has arrived. He's got the freedom zones. He's moving in. And disruptors, they don't shoot up. Not like this. As Liberators are leapfrogging forward. Nice snipe on the disruptor. Down to 6. Yeah, 6 disruptors left. Storms, they turn the army away. Yeah, and we can see Zoun. It looks like he's attempting a base trade, but it's so late. It's just such a delayed base trade here. As ByuN takes down another expansion. Zoun moves out across the map. ByuN does turn around as well. Okay. Turns back home. Novas, they connect with the mineral line, but here comes the mass liberation zones. And disruptors, the count is being reset here. Every disruptor goes down. And this is the final army here for Zoun. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will tie up the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG, well played. We're going to game number 5 here again. ByuN, once again, he was able to get comfortable. He was able to get into the mid game. This is where ByuN does thrive on that 3-4 base setup with his mass drop play. It would just pull Zoun apart. Now, Zoun, he did have a different approach this time. This time, he went into faster double disruptor production instead. But we saw, despite the high disruptor count, he never got the fight that he wanted. He never had that head-on engagement. He was just torn apart left and right. He had a less mobile army, a less mobile composition. That's the downside of going into such a high disruptor count, and he was torn apart. He was just torn apart left and right. It was like he was not able to really get into his own game. And where are we dropping for the final map? That's what I want to know here. Let's have a look. Game 3 is going to be on Pylon. Ooh, okay. I'm really curious to see what kind of build Zoun goes for. I wouldn't be opposed to a fast charge opener. I'll be honest. We'll get into it, but again, when it comes to how this series has played out so far, it's been the more aggressive games, the smaller, shorter games where Zoun has been able to thrive, where he's been able to punish the build and punish the greed of ByuN. ByuN here has been slowing things down, coming into Ultra Love, coming into Tokamak. He's been taking a bit of a slower approach. He's been greedy himself in some ways, but has yet to be punished for it. Again, we'll see how Zoun will adjust. As we're getting into the ace match, as we're loading into Pylon. Let's go. Here we go. As ByuN has not gone for a double gas opener at all this entire series. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss for Team Vitality. It is Zoun. Here we go. Again, Pylon is known for aggression, known for all ins. That does have a shorter rush distance by ground, has a very direct rush distance as well. The third bases are exposed. We expect aggression here, but again, ByuN, he isn't like your typical Terran player. He's not really one. I mean, we haven't seen a single 2-base all-in out of ByuN in this entire series because that's just not what he goes for. He's not like a Cure, he's not like Maru, he's not like Bunny even as well. Like ByuN, he thrives on a greater economy in the mid game with his drop play, with his economy, with his maxed out army, with his macro. That's why ByuN thrives, at least in TvP. And once again, single gas, Rax expand, economic opener out of ByuN. ByuN, he has not gone for a single double gas opener this entire series. That will continue coming to the ace match. So once again, an economic start. Meanwhile, gate expand out of Zoun. Gate expand into a cybercore. Now, something that I would like to see out of Zoun is for Zoun to be more greedy. This is where Zoun has been falling behind in the last 2 games, is that ByuN has been going for these more economic builds and been going for these more kind of later game timings. And Zoun, he's been going for, regardless of opener that ByuN has been going for, he's been going for 3 gateways, Robo on 2 bases. Not even just that, it was last game and the game before, right, where he went into, I want to say, he went up to like 6 gates and Temple Archives and Storm on 2 bases. Like he's been playing very 2-base heavy against ByuN. I feel like Zoun's style, it works wonders against someone like Cure, but against ByuN less so. Meanwhile, that's the second Rax. Oh boy. So Marauder opener, second Rax on the way, and we're keeping our eye open for a third Rax or a third CC. We'll see what ByuN goes for. Here we go. If you recall, we saw the Marauder opener earlier on ley lines. And there it is, 3 racks. Okay, couple of things here. This is a similar build to what we saw on ley lines. If you remember, ley lines, what did ByuN do? He went for a Marauder opener into a third CC, then he went for a second and third racks. Here, straight up 3 racks. If you remember, this is the build that Zoun thought that ByuN was doing on ley lines. Remember, Zoun, he overreacted. Remember, he overreacted to the build. He assumed that there was going to be aggression out of ByuN, and it never came. As ByuN is moving out with his early Marauders, he gets scouted by Zoun. Zoun does scout, Zoun does confirm, and Zoun, he will also confirm the extra Raxes. So big scout here for Zoun. Now he sees everything that's going on. He's fully aware. Shield battery is ready, force fields as well. And Zoun, he should hold, and now Zoun actually has a reason to play defensive. Like, the last couple of games, he's been blindly playing really defensive, and it just hasn't really been working out. Here, he has reason to, and here, Zoun can thrive a little bit more. So, I'm not too fond of this build from ByuN. This is a very old-school build, 3-Rack Stim into +1. Very old school. Right, Side Delta, that's the map that I was thinking of. This build was very common and very popular back on Side Delta. There was a period in time where Kira did nothing but 3-Racks on Side Delta as well. With very mixed results. Very, very mixed. Este Cure. But again, Stim is about to finish. The army is building up. And ByuN should soon move out. And it's going to be on Zoun to slow down the push. A way to hard counter this would have been something like a Robo opener into Colossus. But again, it's going to be Twilight Council into Blink. So he's building up his Stalkers. Building up back at home, and we'll see what ByuN can achieve. And just like last game, we can see Zoun on 2 bases going into Storm. But again, like this time, like there's reason for this. This time, there's more reason, I should say, for it. The army gets spotted. So far, Zoun picking away at the Marines. Every Marine does count. But again, the rush distance is quite short. He's almost there. He's almost at the bases. Almost at the expansions. I'm just changing the coordinates. As ByuN does move in. Does break forward. Oh, never mind. Now it's looking blurrier. I was hoping that would fix things. Or just help the buffering that's been happening. As ByuN pokes in, he's let out so many Marines, he backs off. He backs off. Storm is on the way. Third base on the way. Zoun, he defends. Zoun, he defends successfully. Now, thankfully for ByuN, he didn't throw away too much, right? ByuN, he didn't throw away too much. He still has a robust army to work with. He still maintains all the Marauders, more importantly, so he can hit a later timing instead. I will change the quality back, I guess now. Just waiting for an opening. Oh. Mind as ByuN does stim forward, catching out some of these Stalkers. Okay. A couple of Stalkers getting called out. Again, the Marauder kind of still terrifying here for ByuN. It's slowly building up over time. No third CC in sight yet from ByuN. Okay. So I was just waiting for an opening to increase the quality. Okay, ByuN now going for the third CC on location. But Storm is complete. Remember, it was Storm on 2 bases. Storm is ready. And in this kind of game state, there's no EMP, right? It's too early for EMPs. ByuN dropping into the main. Okay, splitting up his army. Does threaten a dive. Zoun, he keeps up with the rotation. There you go. Ghost Academy's on the way. And we're still playing on a knife's edge here. On the one hand, ByuN, he's not finding the damage that he really wants. True, but at the same time, he's still not losing his army. Like, he's still preserving his forces, building it up over time. He hasn't gone for any kind of big committed attack yet. Oh. As he does stim in, Zoun out of position. Yeah, he's getting called out. Does land a couple of decent storms. Yeah, better storms towards the end. Oof. As that Templar that's targeted down. Massive losses there for Zoun, but the storms do connect though. Yeah, the Medics are hunted down. ByuN, he will lose everything. He does take down all the High Templar, but he will lose the main army, and that was a big loss for ByuN. We spoke earlier how ByuN was doing such a great job preserving the army up until now. Up until this point. Oh no! The final Medivac goes down! And ByuN, he will lose everything. Momentum in favor of Zoun. Now, unfortunately, Zoun, he has no storms. If he had a couple of High Templar here, that would be ideal. But he might still have enough regardless. Voids are being pulled. A bunker will fall. There's a mine shot that can go off. But even then, it should not be enough. Decent mine connection, though. Decent mine shots. There's one High Templar behind this. Prism as well, and Zoun, he's done it. Yeah, he's done it. GG gets called. He breaks ByuN, and Zoun will take the series 3-2, advancing on into the next round. ByuN is out of the Esports World Cup. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very intense back and forth. Zoun had a very strong start to the series with the initial 2-0 lead, punishing the greed time and time again out of ByuN. Game 3 and Game 4, we saw that ByuN was able to recover, able to get into his ideal, into his strengths. Where do his strengths lie? In the mid game of TvP, when he was able to finally get a 3-base economy, he was able to just pull apart his opponents. But here on Pylon, it feels like ByuN, he reverted to almost a primal state. Here he did what we see a lot more commonly, I guess, from some Terran players, and that is more committed to play on 2 bases. 3-rack stim. The downside, though, is he got scouted, right? So there's a reason why 3-rack stim is very out of meta. If you remember, I referred to it as an old school build, because it is old school, because nowadays it's rarely seen, because nowadays in the current meta is so much easier to scout. It is so much easier for the Protoss to scout, to check, to confirm the build, and to respond. And we saw that time and time again, even in the games that Zoun was losing, partly because he was playing very safe. He was playing very safe, overly safe, I would argue. But as you were pointing out, here in this game, he had reason to. He scouted, he confirmed, he did respond with a very late third base, rushing into earlier storm, extra gateways. He shut down the stim timing. The stim timing never really got underway, and that led into ByuN getting caught out in the center of the map. Once he lost the army, that was game.
Thank you so much. Down here on the stage with Zoun after that full series, all 5 games. We love to see it, and you were able to pick up that last one. Zoun, a little bit on the back foot in that last head-to-head. Then you found a great opportunity. Tell me what you were thinking and how you capitalized.
이제 박한수 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 일단 첫 번째 질문은 마지막 경기까지 몰렸는데 마지막 경기에서 사실 쉽지 않은 순간.
Personally, I'd be more curious about Zoun's thoughts about Game 3 and Game 4, less so Game 5. Like Game 5 was a little bit more cut and dry.
1, 2세트를 쉽게 이겨가지고 오늘 운이 좋다, 컨디션 좋다라고 생각을 했는데 잘하더라고요, 운영을. 그래서 좀 마지막에 필살기를 꺼내들어서 자신감은 있었어요.
Yeah, I mean, winning game 1 and 2, I thought the game was really going really smooth, so I was kind of lucky. I was feeling lucky today, but that being said, he played really well on the macro on game 3 and 4, so I was kind of nervous, but I was also confident because I brought ultimate super weapon, which was a fast storm, so yeah, I was confident to win.
You were confident, especially after game 2 there. Great game on ley lines. You saw another opportunity, no upgrades, but you ran in there. What did you see that let you know you could push in that moment?
I mean, he caught the army in the middle of the map, but sure.
그냥 바로 그냥 폭풍 준비되자마자 바로 이제 푸시해서 이겼는데 바로 그 타이밍을 좀 어떻게 정하셨는지 딱 이 타이밍에 내가 들어갈 수 있겠다라고 좀 생각했던 타이밍이 있는지.
원래는 운영을 가려고 했는데 게임하면서 자꾸 이상한 거예요. 그래서 이거 모자다가 트리플 보고 큰일 났다. 그래서 빨리빨리 가야겠다라고 생각해서 관문 완성하자마자 간 것 같아요.
Yeah, I was supposed to go macro in that game, but I felt really odd because this wasn't supposed to happen, you know? He was getting much greedier than I expected. So as soon as I seen the triple, the third base going around, I thought myself that I have to go right now. At the same time, my gates are already being completed, so that was the time that I decided to go and kill him.
Oh, an excellent pivot for the win and a great win overall. Congratulations, Zoun. Let's send it back to the studio, take a closer look.
GG, well played. Again, Zoun, he was able to claim it in the end. He had a little momentum early on as well. He even, thankfully, when it came to his answer, he even did mention like game 3 or game 4, how he was very concerned about the more macro games that ByuN was able to thrive in as well. That was like a little bit more concerning for him. But yeah, he brought it back. He did bring it back in the end. GG, well played. Really well won there by Zoun. My heart goes out to ByuN. I had a little high expectations for ByuN coming into this EWC just because he's been grinding so much. But again, it was a really rough start to the series here. Like, I'm still thinking about that for those first 2 games. As a reminder, game 1 was on torches. Game 1 was hyper cheese, hyper aggression. Actually, yeah, I would have loved to have heard about from Zoun when it comes to the build that he had opted for in game 1, and whether or not pulling the boys there was intentional to try to fake ByuN out and try to lure him into a false sense of security. Like, there's just so much that played into game 1. I would have loved to have heard from him about it. But if you remember, there was the eBay block where he pulled the boys, but only a couple of them, and he was still going for the proxy 2 gate across the map. He caught ByuN with his pants down. I would also love to hear about his thoughts about game 2, where game 2, ByuN faked 3-rack stim, and he went into a faster third TC, and it took a long time for Zoun to realize what was happening. And I would love to know like what his thoughts were when he finally did realize what was happening, and what his mental process was like when he was like, if he was flustered, if he felt like he had to push that in there. But GG, well played. And again, Zoun does claim it. My condolences to ByuN, as they are going to be getting into their there we go. First, we have some stats. Peak heart rate. We're keeping track. I didn't realize we're keeping track of that, but okay. Peak heart rate as well. Oh no. GG. Yes, the toss secret weapon, the storm. Crazy. We'll hear from the boys. We'll hear from them. I'll switch over to the dirty feed.
And unfortunate for ByuN to find himself in this scenario, and of course commiserations to him as a whole. But for Zoun, the road does continue on. Again though, in terms of the field of Protoss,
they're sounding so somber.
People look at him as like the ultimate Protoss final boss here, with still hero, still classic, kind of still representing here. So Zoun's still got an uphill struggle here, I would say.
Yeah, he's a very good Protoss player. I feel like it's
catching up with the chat.
It's difficult to like really stand out, right, at the absolute highest level, especially when you have guys like, for example, Hero, and then lately, of course, we've had Classic. But Zoun has been quietly chipping away at a lot of tournaments, winning, of course, Home Story Cup as well. I mean, he's not somebody to forget about.
Definitely.
It's definitely just the consistency.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we brought up StarCraft earlier, where Zoun, he has been looking really good at both Home Story Cup and StarCraft as well.
Even though he kind of just about got over the hurdle with ByuN, right? Which, you know, that's maybe a weird thing to say, but that's kind of just how Zoun plays. It's never 100% like, he's definitely going to take this guy down. So, yeah, he's definitely a fun contender.
Yeah, definitely. There was some other results coming in, of course, from our previous.
Oh, true. B stream.
Group B, or B stream, I should say. Keeps tripping me up.
You love that Group B, don't you?
We will get to Group B.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at those updates coming in from the B stream as well, and hear for what was going on.
I think they had the Maru series, question
I'm
mark?
here at the B stage where Trigger just lost 3-0 to Shin. I don't know why I looked at you when I said Trigger. I am here joined by Max Estrella Angel, and you were watching the series pretty closely, so I kind of wanted to ask you what happened.
Shin versus Trigger.
Yeah, it was. ByuN lost a few times to the Hydraling Bane. The second game, he kind of just lost to a big attack. I think he was teching a little bit too much, so he didn't have. He was building a mothership while Shin was pretty all in, so he couldn't really hold. And then the last game, ByuN went for a Zealot. ByuN is Trigger. Went for a Mass Zealot attack, which I thought was doing pretty well, but again, the Hydraling Bane came in for the counter all in and punished him. So yeah, it's really tough. I didn't think he played too bad, but the all in's got him.
Appreciate that, Max. So yeah, Hydraling Bane for the win today here, and Shin will take it against Trigger.
Yeah, so we didn't get to see the games ourselves, but based on the verbiage used there by Estrella, I mean, we know that Shin, he's very fond of his 3-base all-ins. We spoke about that last time we casted him during the EWC qualifiers. Specifically, what we're referring to is Lingbane Hydra 3-base all-in. It's when you take a 4th base, you join up to between 66 and 70 workers. You don't tech up into a hive, you don't tech up into lurkers, you don't tech up any further. You stay on lair tech, and you commit to Lingbane Hydra, and you just commit. And it sounds like Trigger was a little bit too greedy. It sounds like yeah, he was a little bit too greedy when it comes to teching, or he was trying to counter attack him, or trying to catch him with charge. The problem with charge-based builds in ZVP against Ling Bane specifically is the baneling. Ideally, Zealot, those charge timings that it sounds like Trigger went for is designed to punish Ling Hydra, but if they're going for a Ling Bane Hydra, then Zealots, they just fall apart. They just fall apart, so... Oh, we're about to hear from him.
Has now been eliminated of the EWC. Obviously, some tough games against Shin. You were the last North American in the competition, so classic question here. How does it feel?
How does it feel to be the last North American?
Yeah, let's go with that. It's a positive spin.
God.
Yeah, so, I mean, I am the best in North America given my results here, so I think I did really well. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, yeah, to throw a positive spin on it as well, I think you're one of the very few Protoss players that have broken into one of the very few players that have broken into the scene in recent history. Probably the player with the least history in the game in this whole event. So can you tell us a little bit about your rise and how you honestly feel about this coming up into the scene?
Well, last year I didn't make it to EWC, and I was very sad about that. So already making it to EWC this year was a big jump for me. And yeah, I mean, I obviously I lost earlier than I would have hoped for, but I think I learned a lot about big tournament preparation and how it's different from like online cups, which are what I'm used to. So yeah, I think it's just a learning moment for me.
I think that's a great attitude. And lastly, I heard about your preparation going really well, especially in PvC against some of the best players in the world. So what do you think was different about this stage, about
I know that
this,
Rogue hyped up Trigger.
this particular opponent?
Yeah, so in practice, I did really well in like the standard games, and that's like for example, Cyril, obviously a very standard player, and my other practice partners also very standard. I think next time I would try to get some more creative, crazy players to practice against, just so I'm more ready for different tournament preparation strats. But yeah, I did well in practice, so it is a bit sad to lose so easily here, but yeah, just gotta learn.
I appreciate that very much.
I like
that was, of course, Trigger graceful.
I like that thought. I like that line of questioning, and it reminds you of something when it comes to I mean, preparation in general. Winding it back here, the problem with doing purely customs to prepare for a tournament is that your custom games and your preparation is reliant on who you're playing with, on your practice partner. And as he mentioned, like if he's practicing with Cyril, he is the best Zerg player in the world. That is true, but Cyril also has a unique play style as well, and he is more known for standard macro play. He's not really a cheesy player. So that's where in a way, like your practice has some, I don't know if I want to say flaws, or like again, like you're not necessarily going to be ready for someone like Shin, for example. And I mean, he just went into it himself, talking about how like maybe some flaws in that preparation for the tournament, because sure, he's getting ready for some. Oh my god. He's getting ready for, like, he's practicing against several, of course, and he's practicing his macro, but, I mean, not everyone plays macro. I would actually say that it's rare for a Zerg player to play macro against Protoss. If you look at Shin, Solar, if you look at even Reina, if you watched Reina versus Hero, and Rogue as well. Fun fact, I would say all the other top Zergs, except for several, cheese in ZVP. It's very common to all in right now in ZVP on 3 bases. It's very common. It's very standard. It is uncommon to like play normal, play macro. So that's like a bit of a hindrance there, I should say, as well. But regardless, you know, much love to Trigger, much love to Trigger, and again, it's really cool that they brought up as well the fact that, again, this is his first World Championship. It's his first EWC, of course, and I would agree with what they mentioned as well. Trigger right now, he is the best player in North America, in the NA region, so it's really cool to see the hierarchy kind of shift and change over time, with now Trigger kind of taking that mantle, whereas years ago it was Neeb, for example, then Estrella kind of took that mantle after Neeb retired. Now we have Trigger kind of stepping into that role as well. Really cool to see. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a break, and we'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon after the break. In 5 or so minutes with our next series, with our second series of the broadcast, it is going to be who? It's going to be Rogue versus Hero Marine. Oh boy, the big Gabe himself up against Rogue. Best of luck. We'll see you soon after the break.